on YouTube? Welcome back to the Big Back channel here. And today is finally part one of the building series. Hopefully it'll only be 2 parts, today and tomorrow. But I'm not gonna waste your time. We're gonna get straight into it. I'm gonna time lapse a lot of it for you, but I'll pause and tell you what I'm gonna do. So if you guys want to build the exact same hut or get a good idea of how to build some huts. Also, this isn't just for pigs. This can be for any kind of livestock, really. That's short, kind of like the pigs, you know. Obviously, it's not gonna feel like a cow in there, but it could if you made it tall enough. So, like I said, we're just gonna do an 8x8 with a door in the front, 4 feet. And yeah, so I got a lot of boards to cut from the 2x4s. So we're gonna do that first, and then the rest is pretty much just screwing it in and hammering it in. So let me show you what I got here. Noah got these outdoor screws from his buddy. I thought there was more, but that's all there is. So I had to go get some more nails. But then I was looking in the back of the truck and I found some more screws, luckily, and more nails. But I think those are too big. Those are 3.5. These ones are just 3 inches, so these might be okay. These are 1.5 inches. So are these, but these are 2 inches, so these ones will probably work out better. I got my hammer, I got my drill, and my saw. So I'm going to use this to cut the 2x4s right now. I don't have like no table or nothing to put those 2x4s on, you know, when people see when they cut and stuff. So I just use the back of the bed because this thing is, you know, 6 feet long. So I only need to take it off 4 feet, and you know, it will hold and stuff. So I don't need nothing special. Just need the bed of the truck. I got those tools, and we're gonna get to cutting. I have to try and remember how many I'm gonna cut in half, but I'll show you all that after. So I'm gonna just put you right here on the truck while I saw everything down, and let's get into this build. Okay, so I need, for the first one, I need about 6 boards. Oh my gosh, what happened to my measuring tape? That are 8 foot. Hold on. I'm not sure what happened to that measuring tape. It was all crooked, you saw that? Some of these boards might be a little bit shorter than 8 feet, yeah. So I gotta find the one that is actually 8 feet, so hold on. Okay, so Home Depot played me. They cut me 3 inches short. It's supposed to be 8 feet, but see, it's 92 3/4, almost 3 inches. So I'm gonna have to cut it at 46.5 inches now, because these are the back ones, so I need them to be even. So 46.5, and that would give me just about 46.5. So that's where we're gonna have to cut it at now. Instead of straight 4 feet, it's gonna be right there. So, by the way, I don't have no like level or nothing to make it sure it's straight. So just move your tape measure down and just do your best to make it straight. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna cut all these boards at 46.5 inches right there, because they're all measuring out to 93 inches. And these are supposed to be 1x4s. They're not even 1x4s. They're like the other ones. They're 3.25. Damn, Home Depot be lying. All right, so let's get to cutting. Okay, look at that. Perfect. Perfect. Might be slightly off, a little bit slanted, but that'll be all right. So let's get cutting the rest. All right, guys. So I went ahead. I got the 2 8-footers, fake 8-footers cut in half. Luckily, the slat one is 8 feet. So what you want to do is lay them on the floor. We're gonna do one side. We gotta just eyeball it since we don't have a level. I didn't want to bring one because who cares? So that's gonna be the bottom right there. And then I just want to do that one, and then we'll get the middle ones after. So this is gonna be the back of it, okay? So now all we want to do is get those slats now and start screwing them in. Make sure they're all the way against each other as well. Okay, make sure when you're drilling, don't go too far in. I just kind of went a little too far and I kind of split that wood. But after, just do one and then make sure that board's kind of straight, eyeball it, and then come and do this side. See, look, I didn't put this one fully straight here. Grass out the way. Okay. Oh. All right, that looks about right. What do you think? Yeah, it looks good enough. Okay, I got the first back all screwed on now. Now, 2 more boards will go underneath as well, but like this too. I gotta find the halfway of those, so that way it gives a good support, because the pigs will be pushing against it, and with these middle supports, they won't be able to try and knock it or, you know, bow it or break it in the middle. So for right now though, I only have 1 screw in on both sides. I will put 2 screws, and then same for the middle ones. Might only need 1 screw, but we'll see. I'm gonna try and stand it up real quick so you can see how it's gonna look. Okay, so look at that. That's perfect height. I could not remember how many I'm going to need of the slats here. So right now there's 11. I can't remember if I said 12 or 10. So I'm just gonna leave 11. I think it's 11. 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave 11. If I need an extra board on all of them, and it's only supposed to be 10, then I could just unscrew it and it'll be good to go, you know? But look at that. That looks pretty nice. So this is the inside part. This is the outside. And I'm looking at it over there. I think it's because of the grass. It's kind of, that side's not touching the floor. I think it's because there's like a high spot right here in the middle. I'm trying to see. All right, I'll try to see what's going on. But let's get these middle boards also screwed in, and then we'll start working on the next side. Okay, yeah, that's better. I was a little worried there. I just had to pull it this way because there's a hump right there. I don't know if you could tell. It's like right there, and this is a low spot, and then I was in a low spot there. So both sides are touching on the ground right there, because that's the bottom part. This is the top. The roof's supposed to go on this part, but I might cut these a little bit shorter so that way we have a good pitch for the runoff for that big old roof over there. So let's put this down now. Let's get the measurements so we can get those boards underneath so it can have more support. See, it's super wobbly right now. All right, so I figured I'm gonna put it 3 foot space from all the way to the edge. So 3 feet, 6 feet, and then, so it's 8 feet. So it's perfectly in the middle. So I'm just gonna try and screw in like 1 or 2 maybe, and then stand it back up to get the rest, because I just want it to be flush with the ground. See, can't have more than the other one. And then just in case I have to move those a little bit. So let's screw in like 1 or 2 first, and then we'll sand it up. Okay, perfect, guys. I got 1 up top. So now I'm just gonna go down the row here, try to stay in the middle so I can get that middle supports, and they'll be solid. And then not too worried if this is not straight, because remember, this is the top part. So I could just cut those, and like if I have to cut it a little bit slanted or something to make it flat, then I will. But right there, that's perfect. So let's just knock out 1 screws real quick, and they'll be done with this backside. All right, guys, so I turned it around now. Remember, this is gonna face the inside. These slats are for the outside. So what's gonna happen now is I'm gonna put this one on the same board here, like this. Then we're gonna have another 4 foot board, but at the 3 foot mark. So I went ahead and marked 3 feet on the slat. I'm gonna put that one right there on here, I'm gonna see if it can hold itself, even though it's got an extra feet here. So that way I don't have to, it'd be a little bit easier if I could do that. And then I just have to add on the other board for the other side. So let me try to do that. All right guys, so I had a little bit of a confusion here, but I got it all figured out. So since I'm gonna cut these boards, I can cut them like that, because that could be the highest point, and then I could cut that a little bit and then really cut these down after. So I'm gonna mount it just like that. We're still gonna put another board right here. I gotta cut some more of the 2x4s, but at least if I can get it holding up itself, we'll be good to go. So I might actually just cut some more 2x4s so that way I could just go all the way around real quick, and that way it could be a full square. But I just don't know how I'm gonna move it by myself, so I'll just have it to leave it right there. And because the truck is just holding it up right now from the back. So let's cut up some more of the 2x4s real quick. We're not gonna trim the top yet, maybe tomorrow, but as long as we got the whole frame and all the sides and the door good to go, and all we have to worry about is the roof tomorrow, we'll be solid. Because like I said, it's supposed to rain pretty good on starting Friday, apparently. So we'll see. So let's go ahead and cut up. We need, so technically this is one 2x4. So 1, 2, 3. So 3 2x4s really. Because we'll need one, and then half of one. Okay, so 1, 2. Okay, let's get 3. Let's cut 3 for sure. We're definitely gonna need 4. Okay, so we're gonna need 4. All right, so let me cut 4 more real fast, all the same size, because they're all 93 inches. So 46 inch and a half is what we're gonna have to cut it. Okay guys, I forgot to mention, since the floor I'm working on here, if you could tell, is slanted. So I had to make sure where I put these slats, I put them at the same height as this. So this is 9 inches, and I had to make sure I did that for the rest of them. So it's a little bit at an angle up here. That side is not touching, but once I move it to a better spot, hopefully it'll be all right. But for the door here, so the middle slats are at 3 feet, right? 3 feet from there, 3 feet from there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this at 4 feet. I'm gonna cut this board at 4 feet, so that way it's directly in the middle. So that way I could still have a brace right here at 3 feet for when the roof goes on, and I can have it at 4 feet to kind of help it with that side over there. Because I might even put a 2x4, see how it's like that, but a little bit lower, so that way I can give it more brace, and so that way we have a big enough door, a 4-foot door for the pigs to go in and out, and that way half of it's covered, because we want it to be all enclosed because of the winter time. So a 4-foot door would be enough airway, plus the slats, you know, they're not completely sealing it, so there'll still be airflow. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna cut this board at 4 feet and still have the brace at 3 feet here. Well, look at it, not bad, not too bad here. As soon as I get that middle part on, it'll be a lot better. But I do still want to run a board, probably a 2x4, at the base all the way across instead of a slat, because that would, you know, hold it way better, as in, you know, being in place and stuff. I should have probably did it also for the bottom one, so if I need to, I can go and get one of the other ones over there, and I can just put it in the inside as well, so that way it could have more support, you know. So let's do that. Let's cut this little board at 4 feet. Okay guys, somehow I messed up here. So I was remeasuring this to make sure, right? And I put this middle brace at 2 feet and 8 inches because I saw the red 32 and I was like, oh, 3 feet right there. But 3 feet's right there. So, but the sides are all 3 feet apart. So we're still gonna cut this at 4 feet. But for the middle bracing, it will just be at 2 feet and 8 inches as well. So that way it matches that. And then I guess it kind of works out a little bit better. So that way it's even bracing in the front and not only a foot apart, it'll be 2 feet apart. So my bad, y'all. So the back part, middle bracings are at 2 feet and 8 inches, 2 feet and 8 inches. The side bracings, 3 feet, 3 feet, which leaves, I put it in the middle, about 2 feet apart in the middle there, instead of almost 3 feet there. Whatever. So 2 feet and 8 inches will be for the middle, the front and back bracket. Okay, so since we cut this board at this one at 4 feet long, it's since both boards are 8 feet, you know, so this will fit still perfectly aligned, so that way it can go like that. And then we'll have that other board right over here to support it. So I think now that I got everything pretty much dialed in here, we have, let's see, so this will go here, and then yeah, I think that's it for the support. I don't know why I thought I had another, I thought I needed another one, but I guess I don't, so that's good. So I guess when I put that other, when I put this brace right here, I could use one of those 4-foot braces to put it right there, so that way it doesn't fall or nothing, you know. But you get the point of what it's going to look like. Now I'm going to go ahead and start putting in the rest of the slats for the siding on both sides, and let's see how that looks after. Look who came to pay me a little visit. What are you guys doing, huh? You guys want to come see what I'm building? Okay, I'm starting to get really hot now. I'm putting on the last bottom pieces here. I put up this other one right there, so that way I can start going all the way up with the rest of them. That way I'm trying to get them all nice and straight, and the other boards too, so that we're not too crooked. But I am starting to get hot. I should have put myself in the shade over there or something. But anyways, let's finish this up. All right, guys, there we go. Got the left side of the hut put together now. For you, it was a second. For me, it felt like forever. So, got one more side, and then I gotta cut a few of the boards to finish that up. And then this one hut's pretty much done, besides the roof, like I said. So let me get to this side, and then I'll pick it back up with you when I cut the other boards in half. All right, guys, got up all the sides now, except for the front, of course. I was pushing on it too hard, and these boards got a little slanted here because there's only one screw in those ones. Same thing with this one, so I might have to take that one out and push it back a little bit. But you guys get the point there. Try to see, make sure. That was a little slanted. Okay, so we only have one slanted board there, but I think that's because that one was bowed. We're gonna say that one's bowed, okay, guys? But not too bad, right? It's coming along. So now I'm gonna get a few of these. I'm gonna find like the bowest ones, and I'm cutting those in half because they'll be used for 2 pieces to go against that whole thing right there. And then that'll be pretty much done. This is gonna be their doorway. So I'll add another support beam right here up top to hold it, and the roof too. But pretty much, I mean, that looks pretty good, right? Not too bad. Not too bad. Are you guys liking the build? Let me know. Let me know what you guys think so far. I like it. It's coming out pretty nice. I wish this wood would stay. Oh, I'd have to like stain it to make it, you know, look this good all the time, because it's just going to turn out to that brown, or I mean dark gray, I mean. So let's see how many boards I'm going to need of the 1 1/4 inch to cut to make that little square there, and then we'll get started on the next one. And then I have to feed the pigs. It's already 1:32, so I'll probably have to finish the other one tomorrow. But if I can at least cut everything, and then tomorrow me and well, actually I'll be here early myself, but anyways, you get the point. As long as I can get the framing all cut, we'll be good to go. So let's cut up those little boards. All right, well, somehow I miscalculated one board. I think maybe I was thinking I was gonna put the 2x4 all the way at the bottom, but that's right. I just need to fix this board here. I need to twist it before I screw it in the rest of those ones. So I gotta unscrew one down there, and then I'll worry about that one piece after. Let's cut some of these 2x4s, and then we gotta go feed the pigs after. So, oh. One of the small ones is getting attacked right now. But anyways, I won't show you guys the feeding time. I'm just gonna show you guys the build here. So, let me straighten out this one board here, and then we'll get to cutting on some more, and probably do something about the bottom. Real quick, I added a bottom beam here. Luckily I had those 3.5 inch screws, either 3 or 3 actually 3 1/4, I think, something like that, whatever. I was able to stick it from the outside because this was actually pushing out too far, so now it's exactly 8 feet from where I want it to be. So I was able to put it right there on the outside, and then screw one of the, I wish I had the actual one, you know, where it makes a hole, so that way I can put it a little bit better. But hey, I was able to screw it down at an angle into that beam, and then I'll put another one up top, but after we cut it, so that way I'll either do it flat or on the back side. I'm not sure exactly, but I don't want to put one yet because I'm still going like in and out of it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna call it done for this one. I'm gonna get started on cutting off some of these other 2x4s, and then see what we have time for, because the other one is gonna go inside there. So I'm gonna cut these, but I'm gonna build it in there, and it's gonna be on that back side over there. So I don't know how we're gonna move this one yet. We're gonna have to just try and lift it, you know, with a couple dudes, because it needs to go somewhere back over here after I put the stakes, so I could see how far, you know, it needs to go. So before we bring over the roofs, because after we bring over the roofs and it's sitting on top of it, there's no way we're moving it unless we have to take it down. So I think that's good right now. Let's mark up some more 2x4s, get them cut for tomorrow, and then we gotta go feed the animals. What time is it already? Yeah, it's already almost 2 o'clock. So cut up some 2x4s, see how many I got here, and then go feed the animals. So let's cut up some more. Okay, here's the whole framing for the next hut. Like I said, I'm gonna have to do it in there. But let me see, what time is it? All right, guys, so actually I'm just gonna end it here for the part 1. So come back for the next episode for part 2 to finish the other hut over there, and then to get the roofs also. So that will be all for tomorrow. I'm just gonna move this stuff because I gotta go feed the animals, and my GoPro's only on 15%. So I don't want to miss out anything for you guys, that just in case, you know, you're following along. But here's another look at it again. Looks pretty nice, guys. I really like how it's coming out. They're gonna have plenty of room to stay warm this winter. Now remember what I said also, we're only gonna do 2 of the big squares, okay? So we're not gonna be able to do individual pen like we wanted to, because it was just too much for lumber to make 4 of these basically. So 3 pigs are gonna be here, and then the 2 Herefords and the 2 small ones, so 4 pigs will be on that side. So this is plenty of room for 3 pigs. They're not gonna be breeding yet until we have their separate pen, because they'll need separate huts. So that's gonna be later down the line. So don't worry, we're not gonna have 3 pigs breeding in one hut. That would be like impossible. They would not want that. So, but they would love to, you know, just lay up together and stay warm. We'll be able to throw hay in here as well for when it gets really cold, because it is already getting cold. Like today was like high of 70, but it took forever. It was only like 50 or 40 degrees in the morning, and it's getting really low at nighttime. Especially with this other thunderstorm rolling in on Friday, it's gonna get even colder. So, and wetter, because it's supposed to rain for like 4 days or 3 days or something straight. So we'll see. Sorry, I got distracted. The small pigs I got out, okay, you can't really see. There's that tree way over there. They're right below it. They are way over there. So, like I said, I gotta feed them anyways. So I'll get them back in. So come back for part 2 to finish the rest of the build. I hope you guys are liking it. Please comment down if you guys like it, or if I'm doing something wrong, and let me know. Obviously I'm not done though with those other boards, the 2x4s, so I am gonna add some more bracing in the inside. I'll put some more 2x4s probably along the bottom, and then of course when the roof goes on, when I cut those, I'll add another, you know, 2x4 around the whole thing. So don't worry, it's not done yet. I will add some more framing, so that way that heavy roof is not gonna make it lean, or especially when the pigs rub on it, you know, they're gonna move that, but it's because I don't have the top bracing yet. But you know, when they're rubbing on the corner, look, I'm shaking that pretty good and it's barely moving. So, and we might have to add some more screws. I am running low, so there's just 1 screw in each board, but you know, in multiple spots, so it's not going to go anywhere for right now. But we do have to figure out how are we going to move it. Probably a good, what, 25 feet from here. We're gonna need like 4 dudes to help get a corner and lift and shimmy our way to the back over there, because that's where like the highest point is. So, and we have to turn it around. So that's like the highest point. So when it rains, you know, it's gonna wash down here. So I don't want the hut at the bottom. You got to put the house at the top. So I think that's about it. I think that's a lot of good information for y'all. So let me know how you're liking the build though. Please let me know down in the comments, guys. Don't forget to like, comments, and subscribe. Love you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.